Welcome to Reflect with Ed Fassio. Get ready to experience one of the world's first 100% digitally generated podcasts, where we take a step back, dive deep, and strive to learn new things. Join us as we unpack thought-provoking ideas, personal reflections, and inspiring stories to help you stay in the know. Reflect is brought to you by the minds at ByteBrain and powered by emerging technologies from Google, HeyGen, OpenAI, and 11 Labs. Thanks for tuning in. Now, relax and prepare to reflect.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of sources, articles, and research, and really boil them down into the most important nuggets of knowledge to help you get truly well-informed fast.
That's the goal.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into an alliance so unexpected it might just make you, well, do a double take.
Definitely.
What exactly do the Vatican and big tech have in common when it comes to the future of artificial intelligence?
It's a fascinating and, I'd say, pretty crucial intersection. We're drawing a lot today from an insightful article, AI, A Moral Reckoning with the Machine, by Ed Fassio.
Right, Fassio. He's interesting because he's a technologist, someone who really gets AI, even loves it, you could say.
But his work really insists on this critical examination of its impact. And that examination, well, it's vital for everyone, truly. Doesn't matter what your personal beliefs are.
Precisely. So our mission today is basically to unpack this. Why is a, deeply traditional religious institution like the Vatican weighing in so heavily on something as cutting edge as AI?
What are their specific concerns? They seem pretty profound.
And maybe the biggest surprise, why are tech giants, the big names, not just listening, but actually formally signing on?
Yeah, signing documents, showing up.
Right. And let's be clear, this isn't about promoting any particular faith. That's more like a profound reckoning with technology that's moving incredibly fast.
Faster than our laws, definitely faster than our ethics framework sometimes, maybe even faster than our basic human understanding can keep up.
It's about confronting, as the source puts it, the elephant in the algorithm, a conversation that's frankly long overdue.
Indeed. And the core message that really comes through from these sources is pretty stark. It's that if we leave AI unexamined, unregulated, it will inevitably start rewriting the rules of what it means to be human.
Without asking permission.
Exactly. No consent forms for this. And, in some areas, that process, it's already begun.
Wow.
So when you think about the sheer scale of AI's potential impact, suddenly it makes sense why maybe the Pope might be more relevant to your future than your CEO.
That's quite a statement.
Well, it's about these huge ethical stakes that just cut across all the usual lines. They go right to the heart of being human in a world that's getting more automated by the day.
Okay, so let's dive into that. How did the Vatican even get here? The source starts with this really compelling historical parallel.
Right. Pope Leo XIV, the current pontiff.
He apparently chose his name very deliberately. He's echoing Pope Leo XIII from way back late 19th century.
The workers' pope?
Exactly, the one who famously championed the rights and dignity of laborers during the first industrial revolution. You have to picture that context.
Yeah, factories, new machines, often brutal conditions.
And here comes the Pope, stepping up to protect ordinary people from the dehumanizing side of all that new tech. It was pretty radical for its time, pushing back against that anything goes attitude.
And that's not just some, historical trivia. What's fascinating is how Pope Leo XIV is explicitly using that legacy. He's updating it.
Okay, how so?
Well, Leo XIII dealt with the clanging, noisy machines of the industrial age. Pope Leo XIV is saying AI is the new machine. But its impact, much quieter, more subtle.
More pervasive, maybe.
Definitely more pervasive. It doesn't clang and boom. Instead, the source says it whispers.
That's a great way to put it. It whispers. Because it does, right? It whispers into your search results, kind of nudging what you see.
Guides your information flow.
It quietly rewrites job descriptions behind the scenes, changing what skills matter, maybe even making jobs disappear without a big announcement.
Or it tells you what's true based on what's trending, what fits your bubble, not necessarily objective fact.
It's insidious because it's so gentle, so woven into our daily lives. And that's why the Pope felt the need to step in, to declare, and this is a direct quote from Fassio's piece, your humanity is not a line of code.
Powerful stuff. And it's framed not as, a Vatican vanity project or trying to push religion on people.
No, it seems broader than that.
It's presented as a global wake-up call. for everyone. It's a call for regulation, sure, but maybe even more fundamentally, it's a call for, like, deep collective reflection.
Reflection on what we're building.
Yeah, what are we building?
Yeah.
And what does it actually mean for human flourishing? The church has this long history of addressing big societal shifts.
Feudalism, industrialization, world war.
Globalization, yeah. So this move into AI ethics, it's positioned as just the next step in that history, adapting its moral voice to these new, really profound challenges.
The goal being to make sure humans don't get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Keep our agency, our dignity.
Exactly, in a world increasingly shaped by these algorithms.
Okay, so if the Vatican is trying to be this moral compass, where do they see AI hitting us the hardest? Where's the biggest impact?
The source highlights what it calls AI's impact on humanity's rawest edge.
Okay.
And that rawest edge are children.
Wow. Okay, that's heavy.
It is. Pope Leo XIV apparently warns very starkly that AI is reshaping not just how kids learn, but how they fundamentally form. Psychologically, emotionally,
Yeah.
even spiritually.
That's a chilling thought, especially with how digital kids' lives are now.
And he has this line, quoted in the source, that just, well, it's a real gut punch. He says, "Information is not wisdom. Data does not raise a soul."
Oof. Yeah, that cuts deep.
Because it slices right through the tech hype, doesn't it? It gets to the core of what's really at stake here.
So what are the specific dangers they point to for kids?
Well, things like increasingly sophisticated AI companions blurring the lines of real friendship, instant gratification models built into everything.
Games, apps?
Yeah, and these algorithmic dopamine pipelines designed basically just to keep them hooked.
Dopamine pipelines. Explain that a bit more.
Think of like a perfectly tailored social media feed. It's not just entertaining you. It's engineered to trigger specific reward responses in your brain.
Making you want the next hit, the next notification.
Exactly. It leads to this almost automatic craving. And it's not just about addiction or distraction, though those are bad enough.
Right.
The deeper worry is this profound disconnection. Disconnection from reality, from the messy, difficult work of real human empathy.
And maybe from themselves, from their own inner life.
Precisely. It could be creating a generation less equipped for, actual face-to-face interaction, for critical thinking outside these carefully curated digital bubbles.
And this concern extends beyond children, right, to the broader impact on human dignity in this new AI economy.
Absolutely. The Vatican put out this doctrinal statement, Antica et Nova.
Okay, what's that?
It's basically a major declaration outlining their principles on modern ethical challenges. Think of it like an ethical framework for this new era, and it does not mince words.
What does it warn about?
Things like surveillance creep, ethical erosion, and this phrase that really jumps out, outsourcing conscience.
Outsourcing conscience. That sounds vaguely terrifying. What does that mean in practice?
If you unpack it, it's the idea that moral decisions, things that used to be purely human calls, could get delegated to algorithms.
Like deciding who gets a job or a loan.
Or even more fundamentally, the statement puts it in economic terms. If your AI cuts costs by erasing human jobs, by making decisions that sideline people, then it's not just a tool anymore.
It's like a weapon against human labor.
The source uses the metaphor of a scalpel, actively cutting the human element out of the economy. The point is stark. Just because a system can do the job doesn't automatically mean it should be the one deciding who gets the paycheck, who has economic worth.
So it's not anti-AI, it's pro-human.
Exactly. It's a forceful argument for making sure humans don't just become like footnotes in their own economic story, protecting the dignity of work, of contribution, preventing AI from becoming this tool for, dehumanization on a massive scale.
It's about thinking through the ripples, not just the bottom line.
Right. The impact on society, on individual lives.
Okay, this leads into a really interesting part of the article. It throws this challenge directly at the listener, especially anyone thinking, okay, this is just religious talk, doesn't apply to me.
Yes, the counterpoint.
What if there is no divine source? What if you don't believe in God? You see all this Vatican stuff as, metaphysical fluff.
Does that let you off the hook?
According to the source, absolutely not. It says pretty emphatically, you're not off the hook.
And that's where the argument gets really powerful, I think.
Yeah.
Because it forces a crucial question on everyone, believer or not.
Which is?
If there isn't some divine overseer setting the ultimate moral rules, then who's left?
Us.
You.
Me.
Each one of us. We become the only line of moral defense between the technology being built and the potential harm it could cause.
So the responsibility falls squarely on human shoulders, regardless of belief.
Exactly. It transforms it from a religious issue into a universal human issue, a moral mandate for everyone. It forces us to confront our own role, our own responsibility.
Yeah, and the source makes this point beautifully by bringing in other perspectives too, right? It's not just a Catholic thing.
Not at all. It mentions Buddhism, talking about, right?
Yeah.
The ethical way to use tools and power. Islam, warning about imbalance, mizan.
Indigenous wisdom traditions often call out disconnection from nature, from community as a core problem.
Right. And secular humanists. They frame it in terms of existential risk, a threat to our collective future.
So it's like this global chorus singing the same tune, basically. Anxiety about unchecked tech power.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter what lens you use, religion, philosophy, science, gut feeling, AI presents this profound test.
Not just testing what we can build.
But way more importantly, testing what we're willing to protect, what human values are non-negotiable.
So the big question becomes, as the source puts it, are we building for convenience or for continuity?
Yeah. And you don't need faith to feel the weight of that question. You just need to pay attention. Use your critical thinking. Understand that the choices we make now will echo for generations.
Shaping whether tech serves us or the other way around.
Precisely.
Okay, let's get to the part that initially grabbed the author's attention, and honestly mine too, because it's complicated and, yeah, a bit jarring on the surface.
The big tech connection.
Right. Companies like IBM, Microsoft, Meta, they haven't just, nodded politely at the Vatican's concerns.
No, they've formally signed on.
Formally, they're partnering on ethics frameworks, co-signing public declarations that Rome call for AI ethics thing.
Sitting on panels next to bishops and cardinals.
It's not just optics, is it? It feels like a significant strategic alliance.
Well, this is where we really need to peel back the layers. Let's be real. Big tech isn't suddenly getting religion in the spiritual sense.
Okay, so what are they getting?
They're fighting strategic morality. Think about it. The Vatican, despite its ancient roots, brings something these massive tech companies desperately need but can't just manufacture.
Which is?
Global trust capital. Credibility. Legitimacy on a moral plane.
So partnering gives them a kind of ethical seal of approval.
Exactly. And that's incredibly valuable. It opens doors in parts of the world where ethics and religious values really matter, maybe more than shiny new features.
It also helps them manage regulatory pressure, maybe? They can say, look, we're working with moral authorities.
Definitely helps deflect legislative heat. And crucially, it reframes AI. It helps present it not just as profitable, which it clearly is, but as purposeful.
As something contributing to the common good.
Right, not just shareholder value. It's a pretty brilliant strategic play, even if it feels ethically complex.
Yeah, complex is a good word, because the source also points out that despite those advantages for tech, it still feels unsettling. There's this unease.
Understandably so.
When you see that kind of religious power and corporate power shaking hands on a global stage, people get nervous, and the source says maybe they should be nervous.
It raises all sorts of flags.
You can just imagine the reactions, right? Conspiracy theorists will go nuts.
Oh, for sure.
Secular ethicists might just roll their eyes, see it as ethics washing.
Moral window dressing.
And regular people. They probably feel something they can't quite pin down. Just a gut feeling that this alliance is complicated at best, maybe even dangerous.
Questions about influence, about hidden agendas, about who really benefits in the end.
Absolutely.
And those are completely valid concerns. The source doesn't ignore them. But it also argues that this alliance, despite all the risks and the, let's face it, awkward optics, it can't just be dismissed.
Why not? Because the problem is too urgent.
Precisely. The urgency comes from the undeniable fact that AI is moving so incredibly fast now. Faster than democracy can legislate, faster than education can adapt, faster than our regulators can possibly keep up.
So the argument is we need some kind of ethical framework, even an imperfect one.
Yeah, the argument is if we don't at least try to wrap this thing in some kind of moral scaffolding, however flawed that scaffolding might be, what's the alternative?
What is the alternative?
Leaving AI ethics up to, well, whatever the algorithms learn from scraping the entire internet.
Yeah.
Including, the darkest corners of Reddit.
Okay, yeah, that's a scary thought. It's terrifying. So this isn't about handing the church the keys to AI development. Far from it. It's about demanding that someone, anyone with influence, is still asking the hard questions.
Questions about accountability, about human flourishing.
Exactly. And look, if tech companies were going to align themselves with anyone for ethical guidance, then we as a society have a duty to hold their feet to the fire.
Make sure their actions actually match the rhetoric.
Absolutely. Hold them accountable when they pretend to have a conscience.
So as we kind of pull this all together, the main takeaway from the source seems pretty clear. AI isn't just another gadget, another innovation.
No, it's described as something more profound. An invocation, almost.
Meaning it calls something forth from us.
Yeah, it demands our deep reflection. It forces us to look inward, collectively, and ask, what kind of society are we actually building here? What kind of humans do we want to become when technology has this much power to reshape us?
Like holding up a mirror to society and asking what we see. A very powerful, maybe uncomfortable mirror. And in this reflection, the Vatican has decided to speak out. With real urgency.
And you don't have to agree with their theology.
Absolutely not. But the source argues you'd be foolish to just ignore the weight of their message. This really is the next great moral frontier for humanity.
And it doesn't care about your religious belief.
Nope. Doesn't care if you believe in heaven or hell. It only cares if you believe in accountability.
Accountability for the tech we create.
And accountability for the human values we might be eroding along the way.
The real fear then, as the source puts it so well at the end, isn't really AI itself. It's not the killer robots.
No, not the sci-fi dystopia, necessarily. The real fear is much closer to home.
It's apathy.
It's apathy. It's the danger of just automating ourselves into submission, passively letting algorithms dictate our reality, define our humanity.
Forgetting that the most powerful operating system isn't digital.
Exactly. The most powerful OS is discernment. That human ability to judge, to tell right from wrong, to see past the hype and grasp the real implications.
So the message is, don't dismiss this. It's not just abstract philosophy.
Not at all. Whether you write code or you pray, whether you meditate or you market stuff for a living, you owe it to yourself, and maybe more importantly, to the people who come after you.
To ask that final question from the source.
Yes. The ultimate question this deep dive leaves us with: who is writing the story of the future, and what role do we choose to play in it?
That's a powerful and really essential question to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into AI, ethics, and these surprising, complex alliances shaping our future.
Hopefully it gives you something to think about.
We certainly hope this exploration helps you continue your own journey of learning and discovery.
In the cyber ocean of online voices and recycled content, something different has arrived. Reflect isn't just another podcast, it's the future of storytelling, powered entirely by AI. From curating data to assembling thought-provoking ideas, we've redefined how journeys are told. Reflect is a podcast that thinks, learns, and evolves with each episode. Every tale, every insight, crafted by the most advanced AI technologies. A podcast that disrupts the industry, breaking free from traditional formats, taking you on an entirely new experience. So tune in now and reflect. We're telling the future.